Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can be part of the studio group. Don't forget to hit that like button so you can see more of this kind of content. Obviously, if you see the background, it's a completely different background than the one you're going to see in the video. I recorded the best first baseman, the top 5 first baseman going into 2021. I just haven't gotten the chance to edit it because I've been so busy with college and whatnot. So in that time span between the time I recorded and the time I'm editing, which is right now, obviously, I'm just recording the intro and the outro. This is a picture of the skyline of San Francisco at night. It's very beautiful. This may come in as the background for a future video. We'll see. I don't know. But we're going to be talking about the top 5 first basemen, or I'm going to be talking about the top 5 first basemen, rather. And I hope you guys enjoy. If you haven't seen my top 5 catchers going into this upcoming season, be sure to check that out in the comment section below. And I got a few hot stove videos that will potentially come out soon, and a bunch of All right, now moving on to the first baseman. My number one first baseman going into 2021 is going to be Freddie Freeman, the reigning National League MVP. This guy, he has it all. He has fantastic. He hits like really well. He had a 341 average this past year. Let that sink in. A 341 average. He was 10 points off from being tied with Juan Soto for the batting title. That's insane. He hit a lot of home runs. He hit like 13 or so home runs. He drove in a lot of runs, and on top of that, he has a pretty good fielding over there at first base. I mean, he won a Gold Glove along with Anthony Rizzo back in 2018. But this guy definitely has what you need at a first baseman. You need a guy that can hit for power, just like a catcher. The guy also hits really well, like hits for good contact. He draws walks. Like the guy, you need guys to like draw walks, obviously, because you need them to get on base. His slugging percentage is up there too. He finished with an OPS of over 1,000, which is absolutely insane. And I think this guy is definitely going to carry that momentum into 2021. Also, he's been one of the more consistent first basemen in the past few years. I mean, this guy has had a lot of All-Star years. I mean, he has like 4 or 5 All-Star appearances. This guy won a couple of Silver Sluggers. He obviously won MVP this past year. Congratulations to him. But Freddie Freeman, you can't ask for more from a first baseman. That is why he's my number one first baseman going into 2021. All right, now moving on to number 2, we got the other reigning MVP, Jose Abreu, the reigning American League MVP, obviously. Another great first baseman. I mean, this guy plays all around solid defense. He's a pretty solid DRS. He hits home runs. He has great average. This guy, I mean, he's basically a Freddie Freeman, but for the American League. Now, the reason I did put him at number 2 was because he did have like a slightly lower average, and I mean, slightly lower average doesn't really mean much. It just means that you don't get on base as much. But this guy is definitely like a Freddie Freeman, but he's number 2 because of that lower average. And this guy is kind of getting old, but I mean, he's kind of 30. He's kind of like Freddie Freeman's age, but that's besides the point. This guy has been a very, very consistent first baseman over the course of his career. I mean, he came in, he broke onto the scene, he won Rookie of the Year, and he's just been having a great, like, for like what you refer to as a great career. I mean, he's just been having he's just been having a fantastic career, and I really like Abreu, and I think that he'll definitely have that momentum going into 2021, and he'll definitely carry on. He'll definitely continue on from that fantastic 2020 MVP campaign. Jose Abreu is my number 2 first baseman going into 2020. All right, now moving on to number 3, we got the MLB leader in home runs in 2020, Luke Voit. Now, Luke Voit has had like a couple of inconsistencies. I mean, 2017 when he was with the Cardinals, he wasn't very good. 2018 when he moved to the Yankees, he was pretty solid. 2019 was also a relatively solid campaign for him, but 2020 was by far his best year. Led the MLB in home runs with 22. He had 52 RBIs. He had a pretty solid average between 270 and 280 in like that range. I'm not sure exactly what, but this guy, I mean, he hits a lot of home runs. What can you ask out of a first baseman? And I mean, he hits home runs. He has pretty solid contact. Obviously, that average is lower than Abreu and Freddie Freeman, but I really like Luke Voit and what he brings to the table for the Yankees, especially the Bronx Bombers. I mean, they have a ton of power bats like Judge, Stanton, and obviously Gary Sanchez, Gleyber Torres, and Luke Voit. I mean, he's definitely a great first baseman, but obviously that fielding isn't there. But fielding's not really necessary at first base because I mean, all you have is like all you really do is like kind of like ground somewhat weak ground balls, and I don't know. I'm not a first baseman, but all you really need to do is like throw the ball to second, but that's what Luke Voit does, and at the plate, he's a fantastic hitter. So Luke Voigt's my number 3 first baseman going into 2021. All right, now coming in at the number 4 spot for my first baseman going into the upcoming MLB season, we got Paul Goldschmidt. Now, Paul Goldschmidt has been arguably the best first baseman in the past few years. I mean, Freddie Freeman exists, but um, that's a discussion for another day. Paul Goldschmidt had a very good average this past year. He didn't hit a ton of home runs, but that average is there. I mean, this guy fields really well, and this guy is more of a contact hitter than a power hitter, but he does hit a decent amount of home runs, and that's what you really want out of a first baseman. But I put him at the number 4 spot because he's not like the other 3 guys above him. He's not like that power hitter. He doesn't hit a ton of balls out of the yard, and because of that, he's number 4. But that's not necessarily holding him back from being a fantastic first baseman. Obviously, props to him. He's a really good first baseman. This guy can field. This guy can hit for contact. He hits a decent amount of home runs, and I really like Paul Goldschmidt and what he brings to the table for the Cardinals, especially in that kind of lineup where the Cardinals don't really have anybody good in their lineup. But that's why Paul Goldschmidt is my number 4 baseman going into 2021. All right, now coming in at the number 5 spot for first baseman going into 2021, we got a guy that had kind of a disappointing year last year. It's Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso did hit a lot of home runs, but ultimately he didn't live up to the expectations that was like given to him by the fans in the front office and like the club. But I think Pete Alonso is definitely going to have a bounce back year. I mean, this guy hits tons of home runs. Obviously, you saw he led the MLB in home runs in his rookie season, hit the most home runs by a rookie in MLB history, 53 home runs. And I really like Pete Alonso because obviously he's that raw power guy, and what first baseman, the first thing that comes to mind is power. I've been saying it a lot, but that's what you want out of a first baseman. I did put him at number 5 though because he did have a disappointing year last year, and he doesn't have a very good average. But I think if he climbs that average up to 270, and I think he definitely can, he definitely has the potential to be an MVP caliber candidate, and I think that Pete Alonso is deserving of the number 5 spot for my first baseman going into 2021. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe and the like button so you can see more of this kind of content so you can be part of the Sioux crew. Anyways, this is Sid signing off. Peace out.